Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'm going to show you that how we can use select, insert, update, all these basic commands in MySQL Workbench. In the previous session, I explained you the architecture and I actually help you to install the MySQL Workbench also. If you have not seen that video, please go back in this playlist. There are small videos that you will be easily able to implement in your system. Now, I actually can search MySQL Workbench here, which I installed. Also, I can right click and pin it to the taskbar. For me, it's asking like unpin because I already did that. So you can open it from there, or I can directly open it from here. Now, when I open this, so I actually told you that how to do this connection. Now, when I click on this, it will ask me the root password, which I told you in the previous video. So the password I set was, I entered that password, okay? And I actually help you in previous session how to set this password. When you are installing the MySQL server, I'll just click on save password in Vault and then okay. So guys, this is how the MySQL interface looks like, okay? I hope this interface is pretty exciting. No? Okay, don't worry, it is exciting because this gives you job gives you money. Okay, nevertheless, now number one thing, okay? So what is this workbench looks like? Let me familiarize all of you with this workbench. Some of the options you can see they are looking very small here, okay? Like this is your file option, then you have edit, view, query, database and server. So every option have their own importance. Like if you go to file, you create a new model. So this is going to actually give you the flexibility to create a new model. Here you will be able to see the selections. So right now you just try to understand like this is the database which it is showing, right? And also if I go back, let's say I go in the file and I close tab. So this will close that particular tab which was open earlier. Now let me try to create a new program where I will show you some practical example, okay? Because this is moreover self-explanatory. If you go here, you check on the options. So it will be too much unmemorable for you if I tell you about these options, because most of them you will learn step by step once you will start running the code in this interface, okay? So on that note, let's start our first code in this series. So I just close that window, okay, with that cross button here. Now number one thing, how to get the data. So there are so many ways. Sometime your SQL workbench is connected on the back end, okay? So on the back end, there is a database like Oracle or something like that, and Oracle will fetch the data and you will be seeing the output here. But when we are trying to do this, for us who are on the free edition, there are obviously some limitations of the free edition. Now, for me, I need to create a table here. And one more thing, guys, some things are case sensitive. Now, if I write create, so this is correct. If I write in small letters, that is wrong. Now I will give this command. This command is for what? This command basically creates a table and you can name the table on anything, like let's say employee. I basically created this table with employees and now I'll put some employees information. As of now, it's not showing that this is correct because it's not able to identify this. Once I'll give the data, so it will say that this is complete. Currently it's incomplete statements, okay? Since this is your first video, so all these things you should know. Now I'm putting some data. Let's say one variable I'm putting as ID and the type of ID. I'm keeping it as an integer and I am also defining it as a primary key. So this is something explicitly you need to define, okay? And also I will give auto increment. So this is an option of MySQL. You don't need to worry about this. I'll tell you what this does. Now ID, I explicitly said that this is a primary key. Now I'll give a name. Let's say name, the variable which I'm defining here, I want to define as a character. So I use varchar here and I will give the length of 100. It's very easy. The length basically tells the how much the long the name can be, and you simply say that it cannot be null. So you are defining that name will never be null. So you need to identify those value for me. Now I'll give a age. Age is again a integer. Age can be integer, very simple. Now the employee will be depending on any department, right? So you need to define that the what is the department of the employee. Now department can be again character, and length I can define as a 50, because no department is longer than 50. I'm assuming you can give any length which you want to give. Now salary, which is a main part, right? Salary is again decimal, because people can receive the salary in decimal value up to 2 decimal. So maximum length can be 10 up to 2 decimal. That's how you define it. Again comma. Now let's say I want to give the join date of the employee. So I'll give join date, or I will make it joining date. Now what is date? Date is a date data type. So I'll give date, not date time. Okay. So this is pretty much easy. I'll give enter. Now I'll close the bracket which I started here, and then I'll give a semicolon. Now basically what you have done, you have created an employee table. Okay. As a first video, you should understand how you created this. Pretty much very easy. I already explained you each and every type by myself coding it. Okay. Now this is a blank table. We have not given any data as of now. This is a totally blank table. That's what it will create. Now second thing, obviously, to insert the data in this. Now for that you will use insert into. Create table is to create a blank table. Insert into to insert inside the table. Which table? Employees. Simply copy that name, put it here. Now you need to give the column name in the same sequence you want to give the data in the sequence. Okay. So all the column, like number one column is, let's say you want to give name. It's not dependent on the way you have defined it. Okay. Here. So when you give the data after this line, the sequence should be that for the column names. Let's say I give age after this. Then I give department. So this sequence is very volatile, guys. You can give any sequence depending on your company also. You can do when you will work in the real life. Now I give salary, and then maybe I give the joining date here. So you can give any sequence which actually suits you and you want to see the data in that particular value. Now if you see, I have not given ID here. Okay. So let's say ID I will create as a separate process. So right now I'm putting the data for name, age, department, salary, and joining date. Simple. Now when I give the joining date, when I close this bracket here, after that I need to specify that these are the column names. So self-explanatory, this system understand that these are the column name, but what are the values you will give? So you need to call a word value. When you call this word value, after this system will understand that the person or the programmer is now going to give the value of the columns in this particular sequence which I have here. Okay. So I think this is pretty much clear. Now let's insert couple of values. Let's say I give name as Amit. So I give name as Amit. Then second is the age. Then third is the department. Again, you are noticing one thing, I will be using quotes here. Okay. So I can use single ticks for the character, comma, then 30, which is an integer. So no need of ticks. Then again ticks. And what is the department? It can be IT, HR, any department it can be, guys. Okay. One quote I'm missing here. Now I'll give comma, then 30, again comma, then quote. He belongs to IT department. Then my next is salary. Let's say his salary is 15,000.00 because we gave 2 decimal value. Then comma, I'm giving. After that, this is again not in quotes, so you can see that. Then I'm giving the date value. Date will be again in quotes. So let's say today's date I'm giving 2025, and then the month will come like 02, and then the date which is 18, again in ticks, and I close this. So this is one data, like for one observation. Now you have to give a comma here, and simply, let's say I copy this, I'll create one more data. I give a enter here, paste here. Let's say now the name I'm giving as Rajat, and age is 29, department is analytics, salary is, let's say, 75,000, and joining date is also today only. So now I can give what if I want to enter one more observation right here, now I have to give comma. If you want to complete, like you want to give only 2 observation here, okay, so what you can do, you can simply give a semicolon. This basically tells the system that this is the data I wanted to process. Now we are ready, right? We have created a table, we have inserted the observations. Now let me show you one more thing. But before that, let me try to explain that how you can see this data now. I created a table, I inserted the data, but there are some questions which can come in your mind. Obviously, what is auto increment? Now, guys, one more thing you have noticed also, which I was talking about, that the ID is not something which I'm passing here. So why I am not passing ID here? Because I'm using auto increment. What is the auto increment option do? It basically create a unique ID every time the execution is happening. So auto increment will automatically start the ID from value 1, and it will give all the ID even if I increase the value here. So to show you that, let's say if I add one more line, if you think that how this will generate the option for us, don't forget comma. Now Amit, Rajat, now I'll call Vinny, and the age is, let's say, 59, and departments is, let's say, HR department, salary is 5,000, joining date was 1950, and so and so. Now I have the data ready. Simple. Now what I need to do, I'll use the select clause, which is your first most important clause which you should remember, because without using select you cannot do anything. Select is basically to select the data. Now star means you want to show all the output columns in the final output. Like what do I mean by that? All the columns will be there, not only selective columns. So that's why we use a star. Now from, what is the use of from? From means the table, on which table you want to perform the operation, that will go in the from clause. Select means what are the columns you want to see, that is select. If you give select star, that means all column you want to see. Now from which table? The table name is here, which we created together. Simple. Now semicolon. Now my code is ready, okay, and I can execute this code to check whether this code is running or not. So to execute, we have this lightning option, which is looking like flash, okay. So you can, if you want to run only specific piece of code, select it and then flash it. But at the same time, if I select the whole code and then I select flash, so it's giving me error. Let's see. What is the error? It's showing that you have not selected a database. So that is again a catch, guys, okay, because I have not selected any database. I have to provide a database. So without giving a dummy database also, you will not be able to run any piece of code, because SQL server want a dummy database in the backend to run your on-premise query. Now I'll just tell you what the option need to be selected. Now to select a database, guys, what you need to do, just look at this. If you can see, there are some by default databases which are assigned to your MySQL Workbench. So let's say you click on this world, and then there are some tables you can already see. So let me do one thing. Let me create this employee table also inside the world. But be very careful that you are using the correct small letters. So it's like world.employee. Now insert into world.employee. See, when I give this world dot, it was showing city, country, because those tables already do exist, guys. Okay. Now here also select star from what? World dot employee. Simple logic. So you can see again it's showing those table, because as of now this employee table is not there. Now when I select this, do you think this will work? Just think about it. Yes guys, this will work actually. So now we are all set to create a table inside the world. I just show you one more time. Just click on this, refresh all. As of now, inside this database, which is world, which is a like by default database. Also, you can create your own database, which I will tell you how to create your own database with your name or anything like that. But let me create a table with employee here itself. Now, if you want to run only this piece, this has run successfully. You can see, but it is showing that there are 0 observations. Now, what I'll do, I'll not select piece by piece. I'll just click anywhere and run this whole code. It's saying the employee table already do exist, because when I ran it for the first time just before this one, so that means the table was already created. It was not the case that the table was not created. So now if I right click on this one and I refresh all, so you can see the employee table here. Now when I double click on this employee table, so you can see that what are the columns there. So you can see ID, name, age, everything you can see there. Now let's say if I drop this table, I just right click on this and I click on the drop table option. So it's saying drop table, I dropped it. Now let me clear this output window. Just right click on this one. Okay. I think there's something wrong with the session, but that's okay. Will not interrupt our code. Let me just run this piece of code again. Just click anywhere and just run. It says you have error SQL syntax. Okay, it's saying that there's error. Sometime because of the session was open for a long time, I'll open my session again. Just click on the workbench. It will open from the same situation. So everything is refreshed. Okay. And there is no challenge, I think. Just one thing maybe. Let me quickly check. Employee department is something I have changed. So this is causing the error. So I'll remove this unnecessary employee from here. Yeah. Now the table is perfect. We have the create table, insert completely, and then select. Okay. So guys, this code also you can download from the GitHub, which you can get from the description box. Okay. I'll put this code there as well. Now let's run this code in a one shot, and I just run it. Now you can see if I go to world, I go to tables, so you can see the employee table is also created without any issue. Okay. And also you can see the output on your window. I think this is very small, so you cannot see this, but let me try to zoom it out if I can show you the output. In this control plus is not working, guys, but you can see like Amit, Rajat, Vinny, all those has come. Also name, age, department, salary, but you can see the ID, which is auto generated. So when I use the auto generated keyword, auto increment, that's why I could see this ID, and you can sort the data also. And in the log, you can see that the query has successfully executed. Okay. So this was our first session for the workbench for all those people who are very new to this particular area. And I hope you find this video helpful for yourself, because this is a basic structure. It was your day one in the coding area. Okay. So you got to know like how the create table works, and then how you can define the column names, the type of columns, everything there. And then we spoke about insert into and then select. I know this video was bit long, but it's important that the certain video should be bit long so that we can understand things thoroughly. Now this code obviously you can download from the GitHub, and if you have any question concern, please put it on the comment section. I will reply to all the question and concern on this. All the best guys. I will see you in the next video.